So guys, we're gonna debate a guy, and let me show you who the guy is. This is the guy we're gonna be debating. And let me explain to you what happened and why we're debating him. This is the guy we're debating. Okay, so this guy, last night, sometimes I check my clips, right? I check my clips. And last night, I found a clip where it was the most viewed clip of the last 24 hours, because I review those, right? This guy clipped something in our channel where he finds one part where we're listening to Bloomchen and I'm attacking Chapo, and this is the song that's playing, right? This is the song that's playing. Let me show you. This is the song that's playing. Okay, this is a very... First of all, this song means a lot to me personally. That specific Bloomchen song means so much to me. Okay, because this is the song we were playing when I finally started to get in the groove of debating, and I'm like, wow, Infrared's gonna rise to the top through debates. And it reminded me of Alita Battle Angel for some reason. And it's just very close to my heart, the song, right? And Bloomchen in general is because, you know, I spent a long time in isolation. I don't know if you guys know that. Where I had no friends, no contacts, no nothing. And I work out in silence, but when I would go to the gym and I'd be preparing my weights, I'd be listening to music. And a lot of time, I was listening to Bloomchen, right? Just the Spotify profile, just going down the list. Because to me, Bloomchen, this was in 2019, represented the 2020s. And it's just like I had this optimistic feeling when I would listen to whatever her name is, Bloomchen, the German artist, where it was like, this is just like how people in the 90s must have felt going into the 2000s. That's how I felt in 2019, thinking about how in a few months it's going to be 2020. We're going to be entering the 2020s. And I had a very I had a feeling it was my time now to be out in the open. And this is a new era. It's the 2020s. And it was just a really nice vibe, you know? I love that 90s and 2000s type of music. Because it combines electronic repetitive music with melody, right? And I used to be like a type of guy who only liked to listen to really ugly sounding avant-garde electronic that had no sense. And I was like, yeah, man, this is all that, whatever, that bullshit. But then I started to embrace melody, right? And I don't know. It's just, music is a very big part of my history, right? So when Infrared started, Bloomchen was what I would use for the intro music. And music like that type of genre, I would use it for the intro music. And while the intro screen was playing, it was showing Beijing's new airport, right? With the Infrared logo and shit. And it got me hype, right? It got me hype. And it just felt like this is a totally new aesthetic, totally new vibe. And I'm ready for the new era, right? I'm ready for the new era. And I'm specifically, by the way, contrasting the Infrared aesthetic with that music and that aesthetic. I'm contrasting that with what I think are the 80s obsessed. Chapo, the podcasters, BreadTube. All of those people are obsessed with the 80s, right? But me, I'm more kind of moving toward not only the 90s, but the early 2000s. Because to me, the 2000s were a feeling of you're entering a new era. It's just the future, basically. This idea of the future. And that was a very deliberate and conscious decision on our part to just make sure. How are they obsessed with the 80s? Are you stupid, dude? Do you not know about synthwave and what is that fucking ugly purple aesthetic that they use? The synthwave and they love the synth music, and they did Stranger Things vibe, and they're hipsters, and they're wearing that, spunky 80s, shut the fuck up, bitch. You know what I mean? 80s is more like a return to normal. Yeah, vaporwave, whatever. 80s is more, 90s is more like a return to normal after that 80s cringe. And then the 2000s is like a completely new era, right? When the 2000s dropped, unfortunately, it's like Y2K didn't happen, right? As soon as the 2000s happened, you started to see a repetition of like people rediscovering the 60s. And then 70s in the late 2000s and early 2010s, it was the 70s. The 70s aesthetic was what was big, right? Then when around 2015, 2016, that's when the 80s thing took off, right? I started to notice this in 2016 when 80s started to take off. I was like, why is this 80s shit being revived? And I was like, oh, okay, I understand why. But, yeah, so anyway, you know, this is why I challenged this fucker to a debate, this fucking disgusting creature to a debate. I just challenged him because even though the clip only got 90 views, it pissed me off so much. Because this is, okay, let me tell you what happened. He took a clip of one of the Bloomchen songs, one of my favorite ones, by the way. It's not like a random one either. It's literally one of my favorite ones. And he goes, Infrared listens to alt-right meme music and while attacking other leftists. Now, what I'm interested in knowing is how many of you knew that was alt-right meme music? Did any of you know that? I fucking didn't know that. And I looked it up on Know Your Meme, the thing, and it said, oh, there's a meme where if something's Nazi, they play a song, and I don't fucking know. But, you know, I have a very eccentric music taste in general, and this disgusting, slanderous, leftoid, stupid bitch piece of shit was literally... Because people say, like, Haas, why is your music taste so eccentric? This guy's finally making sense of it. Oh, it's alt-right meme music. He's dog whistling to the alt-right. And I got so mad because this guy is my enemy. I actually fucking hate this piece of shit. Thank you, Nasuki, because the idea of Bloomchen being taken away from you, music that is so close to my fucking heart, and is such a huge part of Infrared's history and my own history, because this guy fucking decided it was an alt-right symbol. Fuck you, bitch! I don't care if fucking Hitler himself listened to this music in his car. This is my fuck. I don't give a fuck, bitch. You stupid fuck. That's like people who freak out over Pepe the Frog. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck, bitch. If I like something, I like it. I'm gonna listen to it on stream. Right? And it pissed me off so much. And then he said, well, he's attacking other leftists. So, there's a few things I'm gonna debate him about. One, we're gonna decide whether he was justified in claiming that I was listening to alt-right meme music. And that was actually the intention behind whatever. Second thing we're gonna talk about is whether or not leftists deserve to be protected and not attacked and critiqued. Whether, like, leftists are a protected class in society, then you can't attack other leftists. These are the two things I want to cover, right? So I'm going to tell this guy right now, whoever he is, get your fucking bitch ass in show queue. Now, get in the show queue voice channel. I'm going to drag you up. Right now. What up, bitch? No one can hear you. Your mic doesn't fucking work. Hello? Yeah, of course the fucking nerd doesn't know how to fucking work. Hello? Yeah, of course the fucking nerd doesn't know how to fucking work. Hello? Yeah, of course the fucking nerd doesn't know how to These are Chapo viewers, by the way. Hello.
Ah, shit. I was using the wrong...
Ah, shit. I was like... Okay, first order of business. Why is Bloomchen alt-right music? Go ahead.
No. We're going to cover something first. Unban me.
No, I'm not going to unban your bitch ass.
Okay, that's a dodge.
Why is that a dodge? You're here now.
Nope, you're going to unban me, or it's a dodge.
Dodging what?
You're going to unban me so I can fully participate in this content, or it's a dodge.
Why is it a dodge? What is it dodging? Yeah, you're literally in voice with me right now. Who's dodging what? What a fucking coward. He's literally trying to fucking back out of the debate now.
No. I want to debate. This is great. We can make some great content. I love it. Unban me.
Why? So you're going to give me orders? No.
No. It's an agreement. That's
no. Why?
Either we agree to debate or no.
No. Why? I'm not going to accept your blanket orders. Why? Why do you need the chat? Do I need to unban you so your fucking mic works? You fucking pussy. Why do you need to be unbanned?
That's right. You will unban me so that my mic works. You will unban me so that my
So you can't engage in the use of reason, though, right? You're just going to bark at this order. This arbitrary condition that is completely devoid of any meaning.
We're going to agree that we are creating content together. And that includes I'm participating in chat.
You're participating in VC. Don't worry about chat.
No.
What? Karl, let's explain why Bloomchen is alt-right music. Go ahead. I don't know if you speak German, so do you know what the lyrics of that song are? Is that she's preaching white nationalism or something? Because that's what you put in the title. You said, while he's listening to alt-right meme music. It's very curious that you knew that that was an alt-right meme, supposedly, and I didn't. Which actually incriminates you, who actually fits the demographic of an alt-righter, as a white, and yes, you are white, you are a white male, excuse me, leftist. You know you're a white male, right? You're a white male game dev. The #1 demographic of the alt-right, as proven by studies. Developers in Silicon Valley, #1 demographic of the alt-right. I'm a fucking Arab from Metro Detroit, Michigan. I'm an alt-righter? I don't know about your alt-right subculture, Karl. Why don't you tell us more about these alt-right memes we may be unknowingly be participating in? The fact that you knew that incriminates you. And he doesn't defend himself, so he's literally just getting destroyed. I'm winning the debate now. He's too scared to even say anything. He's just getting rolled over. He can't even defend himself.
You're too scared to unban?
Why should I unban you? You have to give me a reason. Give me one good reason why I should unban you. Okay, here's the new terms I'm going to say. Ready? Donate me your balls, and then we can debate.
How many dollars?
Your balls. Your balls. Go to a doctor, get your balls removed, and send them to me.
Is this like infrared wants my balls, ooh, 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 or infrared wants my balls, ara, ara? Which one is it?
Ouch. You actually thought that was funny? And you're a grown man who looks like this saying that? That's literally...
I'm a gamer. That is what I am.
Yeah, you're an alt-righter. You're an alt-righter.
Actually, that's appropriating my culture. So you should back off of the German slurs. That might be TOS. You should watch out.
You're an alt-righter. You're a member of the alt-right.
Not actually.
Yes, you are. You fit the demographic of the alt-right. Listening to music is way less incriminating than fitting the exact profile and demographic of an alt-righter, all while knowing the finest intricacies of their subculture. The fact that you're aware of alt-right subculture in such an intimate level of detail incriminates
you. Were trying to teach your channel about meme culture yesterday. You were trying and failing really badly. I wonder where you got that information from. Are you not being careful about your information hygiene?
What information, and how was I failing?
You tried to say that something awful was the peak of rational discourse.
No, that's not what I said, actually.
That's what you said.
I said the manner of expression that dictated the terms of discourse on something awful was based on, like, this plain-spoken, explicit discourse. Which is true. That's all forum discourse, by the way. That's all forum discourse, by the way. I literally participated in that shit. I know what that shit was.
You told me the Power Book meme is like the peak of discourse, like that's rational discourse.
Even their memes were like loaded with the implicit pretense of a like rational subject who takes things at face value. Even the cheeseburger memes and the fire in Malaysia memes and all that kind of shit, those were nothing like the memes that would proliferate around the 2015s and 2016. No, they were qualitatively different entirely. Those memes, by the way, weren't based on irony.
Is that why the subconscious? Is that what the subconscious effect that meme is going to have? Is that what it's going to do?
What meme?
The Bloomchen, the memes from YTMND. So this song, which reminds you of 2019. You said it reminds you of 2019 or 2020?
Yeah.
When it came out in 1998.
And?
All right.
What's your point? That's when I just started listening to it and discovered it. And that's the meaning that I placed it in the context of. Are you trying to say that memes like are imminently and like metaphysically loaded with meaning rather than being ascribed meaning for certain reasons? Like, you actually think a meme actually carries some metaphysical subconscious substance?
This is what you said on your stream.
Oh, quote me. Yeah, quote me where I said that memes carry some kind of metaphysical unconscious substance rather than being phenomenal forms that relate to our subconscious because of the way we ascribe meaning to them. When did I say that's so fucking stupid? That's like saying that's just as superstitious. That's just as superstitious.
385 seconds into the stream, you said memes give expression to cultural and unconscious realities.
Of course they do. Does that mean they're imminently, metaphysically loaded with like some kind of magical substance that gives them reality independently of the context within which they actually express meaning? Like, do you actually think a meme is like a magical, supernatural totem that exists independently of the way in which it actually expresses things to human subjects, you fucking moron?
You are failing very hard. You're failing very badly because you're being tested. You are expressing to us what the purpose and scope of memes are.
Okay, how am I failing? How am I failing? Okay, hey, Karl, slow down a little bit. Slow down a little bit. You put words in my mouth, and you said that I said that memes imminently, like as a fact of their metaphysical existence, their scientific natural constitution, the electrons and the fucking photons that go into their projection on the screen, or the material that they're made out of in real life, like metaphysically speaking, are already latent with meaning, rather than the fact that there is always a meaning for us, which is embedded and entwined within our world of meaning as human beings, right? When did I say that a meme, as you're trying to imply, is inherently and imminently metaphysically loaded with the meme substance, in quotes?
Holy shit, did you delete the VOD?
No, I didn't.
Okay, let's find it.
Give me the exact quote, too. We're waiting.
It's loading. Because I wrote it down, and those words that I said, you objected to. So I'm going to play it back to you.
Yeah. What did you write down? The title
Memes
of the
give
clip?
expression to cultural and unconscious realities.
No, I did say that. It just seems like you don't know what that means. That doesn't mean that a piece of music or a picture is metaphysically loaded, like with some magical meme substance. It's all about the context and meaning ascribed to it. The burden of proof lies upon you that in the context of the meaning being conveyed, as far as that song is concerned, that I was dog whistling to the alt-right. That burden of proof lies upon you. The fact that the alt-right...
Read your mind. Is this some...
Why would you make the assumption... But why did you claim that I was using that song as an alt-right meme if you can't know it?
I actually didn't say that.
What did you say?
No.
What did you say?
The clip. I said you're playing an alt-right meme.
Wait, hold on. Is Bloomchin the artist? Is she a member of the alt-right? She's the artist of the song.
Nope.
Why not? She made the song. So is she a member of the alt-right?
Nope. That's not the cultural context in which this became a meme.
Well, okay, so at what time period did any use of this song become an alt-right meme? After what time period?
About 2004.
Okay, so after 2004, anyone who listens to this song or enjoys this song or is interested in this song is basically a member of the alt-right.
No, I don't think so.
Well, the song became imminently and inherently, like essentially, an alt-right meme after 2004. Is that what you're saying?
I think it's funny as hell. That's what I think.
After 2004, you're saying that this became an alt-right meme, yes?
Yes.
When did the alt-right come into existence?
It was in its proto-evolution.
Okay, let's look up the term alt-right. Alt-right.
No, the term alt-right was coined...
When?
I think 2014, maybe?
Oh, so you're saying that someone took a time machine and went back to 2004.
Right, because you completely reject dialectics.
Hold on, what is... Wait, hold on. Okay.
Are you forgetting your theory? Come on.
Wait. What does that have to do with dialectics? The alt-right didn't exist in 2004.
The group of people and what they did in the cultural, the genesis of the alt-right existed.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
It existed in the dialectic.
No, that's literally not true. That's demographically not true. The alt-right actually formed out of discontented...
Tell us what dialectic means again, Haas. Tell us what dialectic
Well, we don't have to bring up dialectics right now, and don't worry, we're going to get to dialectics.
Tell us what dialectic means, Haas.
We're going to get to dialectics when we talk about leftism.
You said that we should ignore Chapo's stupid memes and focus on their theory. And I want to get to your theory. Tell us what dialectic
Well, you keep interrupting me, you stupid bitch, you dumb fuck, you worthless, fucking brainless, stupid little pussy. Because you keep fucking interrupting me, and you won't let me talk. Do I need to mute you, little boy? Do I need to mute you, little boy? Do I need to mute you, little boy? Do I need to mute you, little boy?
Come on.
The alt-right, demographically, came out of discontented former Occupy ideologists and those groups. Their age in 2004, they weren't even fucking old enough to constitute the alt-right at that time.
Wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
On the ground in Occupy,
not all white nationalists were alt-right. White nationalism has existed since, like, at least... Well, it depends. You could say 100 years, you could say half a century, whatever. Since birth of the nation, or even before then, whatever. I don't care what period you put on this. Nazism.
Thank you.
Was Hitler an alt-righter?
He existed within the dialectic of the alt-right.
Okay, since you're mentioning dialectics, what does that mean concretely? Because I actually am going to call your bluff that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Come on. No. So
what?
But I'll let you.
But the burden of you is to explain what you mean. You said something. You said it was part of the dialectical history of the alt-right. What does that mean concretely?
You have the existence of a thing as you observe it today. You look at what its context in culture and history. You look at what it will become. You consider the truth behind the thing.
Okay, let me stop you right there. You just said a bunch of meaningless word salad, fucking diarrhea bullshit. Actually, what you're implying, since I'm gonna like spit it out for you because you don't even have two fucking brain cells to rub together to express what you actually intend to, what you actually mean to say is that the alt-right is an eternal platonic form that has existed forever as an uncreated divine existence since the beginning of creation, so to speak, and that it has merely evolved in different ways across time and history and context. But that's precisely the opposite of dialectics. Dialectics says that there's a dialectic of content and form, which means that forms don't exist forever in the same form. There's a dialectic such that forms disappear and they arise, and they disappear and they arise. Such as the only real essence that survives across history is precisely the contradiction itself. That's what dialectics is.
So you and I both said something that is wildly different from the definition, but yet both of them inhabit the essence of the definition, which is the metaphysical contradictions and the solution.
Okay, how does dialectics justify the claim that Hitler participated in the alt-right?
Well, because of the cultural influence of the right, the cultural influence of nationalism, fascism, and all these related topics.
Within the alt-right, but you're saying imminently speaking. You're saying imminently speaking, like Hitler himself was part of the alt-right.
No, you said that.
Okay, so it was Hitler part of the alt-right or not, imminently speaking?
No.
Okay, so now he's not. Okay, we got that.
No,
so why is Blümchen's music, imminently speaking, part of the alt-right? After 2004, as you said.
Because it was co-opted.
But that has nothing to do with imminence. You know what imminence means?
I clearly don't, because you keep using that word.
Can you Google it for me? Google the word imminence on Google.
That's called imminent. How do you spell that?
I-M-M-A-N-A-N-C, I think, or E-N-C.
Yeah, that's not a fucking word. You want imminence?
Imminence.
I-M-M-I-E-N-C-E or A-N?
I-M-M-E... Sorry, I-M-M-A-N-E-N-C-E. Look it up.
That's wild. Both of those come up as words. That's interesting. Okay, because my autocorrect put me on...
I don't give a fuck. Can you read it?
Right. Nice. The doctrine or theory of immanence holds that the divine encompasses or is manifest.
No, look up the definition of the... Don't look up the doctrine of immanence on Wikipedia. Look up what immanence means, the definition.
State of being inherent, exclusively existing within something.
Okay, so it basically means that something is within itself, not taken from an external perspective.
Yeah, and I keep saying no, and you don't believe me.
Okay, but you just said that after 2000, you said a number of things. You said one, the alt-right existed in 2004. Two, that any use of the word, any use of the song by Blümchen after 2004 was imminently an alt-right meme.
No, I did not use those words.
What did you say specifically?
I said it was co-opted by the alt-right or the...
Wait, but if I rewind, and when I said, when did it imminently become... I asked you, when did it imminently become an alt-right meme? And you said, after 2004. Basically answering the question, which was loaded with the assumption that it was imminent.
You made an error. You had a sneaky...
You made an error because you're a little pussy and you're a bitch and I fucking dominated you.
You got your ninja adjectives and you want to redefine the definition so that we don't...
Listen. Carl. Your skull. I'm in your skull right now. Your skull. There's a hole in your skull right now. And I'm making myself comfortable there. You understand, Karl?
Sorry, what?
Of course you understand. Now, Karl, let's get back to the point. If it's not true, which is now what you're claiming, that the song is not imminently an alt-right meme, why are you justified in making the assumption? What?
We've resolved this, right? We've resolved this.
No, we haven't resolved it yet, Karl. You said
never.
after 2004, it became an alt-right meme.
Co-opted. Yes, it became co-opted by
It became co-opted. What does that mean? Does co-opt mean imminently change the substance of the song itself?
It does. It clearly does not.
So if that's not what it means, how can you be justified in attributing any use of the song to be a dog whistle to the so-called alt-right, which we actually haven't established even existed at that time in history?
I justify it by my existence here today.
What does that mean?
I'd like to thank the Chinese Communist Party for planning to build 160 nuclear reactors in China.
Yeah.
Nuclear is based.
But they're not eliminating oil. You know that, right?
Well,
they have no plans to.
That they will reduce oil use.
Okay, but they have no plans on eliminating it.
Because they care for their citizens. They actually care for their
citizens. They just want to reduce pollution for their own citizens.
Yeah. And you need to reduce oil consumption.
So Karl, you're pivoting really hard, and we still haven't gotten to where you can justify making that clip that you did.
You asked me about my justification, and it's in the utility of being here.
What does that mean?
It's in the utility of being here.
It's your justification is in the use of being here?
Yes.
How? How does that make any sense?
I'm telling you, I'm a fucking climber, man. That's what I'm telling you.
You're a clout chaser? Oh, you did it for attention.
Yes, I'm admitting. I'm fully conceding the point of the debate. That is the entire point.
Oh, so you're just going to surrender and submit to me like a bitch?
No, that was the entire justification the whole time.
Was to come on the show.
Right.
So you also take back the thing about how attacking other leftists.
I don't really fucking care about Chapo. I really don't like them.
Okay. So, Karl, I don't know what sense of manhood you had before coming on here, but I just took your manhood. Which means, Karl, your magic juju juice, that like, like if you feel like, you have some kind of swagger around women before, if you had any, I took it all from you. I took it all from you. Which means now, you don't have an ounce of manhood left in your body and in your soul.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. Are you single?
I'm married.
You're married? Your wife's going to cheat on you.
When are you moving in?
After this debate, your wife's cheating on you. Trust me.
With you? Can I watch?
No.
Oh, fuck.
But I'm just telling you, she's going to cheat on you after this debate. You lost your manhood. You know that can happen, right? You can lose your manhood.
What if it happened before?
I bet it did happen before, but whatever bit of it you regained, you lost. Entirely. And it's not going to come back.
All right. Infrared and Karl's manhood. There we go.
How old are you, Karl?
So are you.
I'm old.
Which means what?
Older than 40.
So where'd you share that clip?
I think I shared it. Shit, where did I share it? I think I shared it on DGG.
Really? You shared it on DGG. Wait, and you're a leftist?
I'm an independent.
So you're not a leftist?
I don't know. I don't really know what that means.
Are you a socialist?
I'm not really clear what that means.
Oh, you're like an indecisive pussy, and you can't just own up to anything. I get it.
Capitalism really sucks, is what I know.
Wait, so I know, okay, you're a lefty, right? So you went and virtue signaled to DGG, who hate you people. Not as much as I do, but they fucking hate you people. And your people hate them. And you went and begged them.
My people?
You went to go beg to suck their dick just to come at me. So much for left unity, Karl.
Are you a leftist? Is that does your definition of leftism include both me and you?
I hate American leftists and Canadian ones.
I mean, I've met
British ones.
CCP USA, and they were pretty nice to me. They talked to me about nuclear. It was really based.
Who?
The CCP USA here in Seattle talked to me about nuclear.
There's no such thing as the CCP USA.
The Communist Party in the USA, the people who
The
are protesting
CPUSA.
against the Falun Gong. Oh, is that they're not related to the Chinese party. So Chinese communism is different from American communism.
The CPUSA is a changing party, so I don't know.
It's not related to the Chinese Communist Party, so they're different.
Yeah, it is. It's part of the same international affiliation.
Okay, that's clear.
So nuclear is your ultimate cope.
Right, because otherwise we're going to fucking fill up the atmosphere with carbon dioxide. We're going to be above 500 ppm, and we're going to get like, you know...
Oh, you know exactly how the climate works? Do you know exactly how the climate works?
I don't know exactly. I know a fuck of a lot for someone who plays...
I don't think you know anything about how the climate works.
I know of a fuck of a lot about how the climate works.
I don't think you do.
Can you tell me what a Sankey diagram is?
Yeah, I don't think people who know what Sankey diagrams know how the climate works either.
Can you tell me how albedo works?
No.
Can you tell me how infrared radiation works?
Actually, I do know a little bit about that.
Oh, good. I'm happy for you. So when heat travels to the ground level of Earth and then becomes heat and then becomes emitted into the upper atmosphere, what prevents it from escaping into space? Carbon dioxide. That's what it is.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I get that. It's just that I just think people don't really know as much about the climate as they think they do.
Like, is it not a giant chemistry set? Is it not like we're all here on this one Earth with the atmosphere contained by gravity and all circulating around?
I do recognize there's a measurable climate change and a warming of the climate change, and that it makes sense that there's a man-made contribution to that. But I don't think people really know if there's countervailing tendencies, if there's other factors we're just not aware of, if our assumptions about the nature of thermodynamics can hold water forever. I'm more open-minded. I just don't think you know everything.
We have conducted an experiment where we have raised the CO2 content of our atmosphere, and the temperature has traveled with it since 1850.
Yeah, I get that. No, I get that. I get that. But I get that. The temperature has been rising, corresponding to the emission of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. I get that. But... And by the way, I'm not even like literate on so-called climate denial. I don't even know the other side of the story is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just rolling with the assumption. I'm just rolling with the assumption that the predominant narratives are correct, right? I'm not even challenging them. But even with that, I don't think you know enough to say that that's simply the end of the story. That it's just the climate's just going to continue to heat up, and it's going to heat up to a breaking point that will lead to the complete apocalypse of everything on Earth. I mean, there's, are you aware of...
But that's not actually what the literature says. And we just had a new report that came out this year. It's called the IPCC WG2AR6. That's WG2AR6.
Yeah.
I would tell your chat about it if I wasn't banned in chat. I would post a link, but I'm banned in your fucking
You can't
chat.
Post links anyway, so shut the fuck up and stop bitching about that.
I would describe it to your chat, and then they could go fucking Google it.
Okay. So, what about this report is relevant to what I said?
Because it describes the systems, it describes the agreement in evidence. It shows us what parts of the world that there's strong evidence for climate change resulting in weather pattern changes, and what parts of the world are not.
Okay, did I deny that climate change has a man-made contribution?
You said that we didn't understand
I don't think we understand the full effects it's going to have on the climate or about how the climate works. All we know is that the heat. All we know is that there has been an accelerant. Supposedly, there has been an accelerant on within the past 200 years since the Industrial Revolution in the heating of the planet. That's what we know, but we don't know like what the full implications and consequences of that. We don't know we don't know like where that fits within the climate as a whole.
We know that if we allow the climate to warm more than 1.5 degrees to about 2 degrees hotter than before the Industrial Revolution, we will lose the last 10% of the coral reefs. They will go from a 90% lost.
Yeah, there's too many assumptions here that I just don't buy. Sorry, I just don't. I'm not convinced.
High evidence and high agreement in that piece of evidence. It's because, and I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Listen, whenever you conduct any science, whenever you conduct a scientific examination or hypothesis or theory, you're isolating certain variables which you can be certain about, right?
Yeah.
So you always have to involve a finite number of variables. My only contention and issue is that the Earth is too complex to actually match and fit in a way that you can be absolutely certain of the models you're projecting and within which your experiments are being conducted and within which you're reaching the conclusions that you are. I'm not denying that the evidence in the theory, the experiments and examinations you're doing, that there's like a correlation between the hypothesis and the evidence, all that stuff. But you're not understanding that that's all finite. You don't have enough. You don't have enough information, in my view.
No. This is the incompleteness theorem you're talking about.
No, it's not the incompleteness theorem.
Basically, within a closed system.
No, it's not the fucking. It's not the fucking Gödel's whatever incompleteness. It's not what I'm talking about.
It is when we are within a limited system, we have bounds to our observations and the reproducibility.
That's not what it means. That's not what it means either. Hold on. That's not what it means either.
If you try to go outside that system, yes.
That's not Gödel's incompleteness. That's not what Gödel's incompleteness means, nor was that what I was referring to.
Come on, Google it for me then.
I don't need to go Google it because I know what Gödel's incompleteness is.
Got it. Wrecked. Dodge.
All Gödel's incompleteness says is that, if I remember correctly, there's no airtight system. There's no airtight axiomatic system. That a system is always going to have an exception within it that can't be accounted for within the system itself. That's the extent of, that's basically the simplification I'm familiar with.
Totally.
But I wasn't talking about, why did you bring up something I wasn't even talking about?
No, because it's related.
No, it's not related. The only thing I'm trying to say is that your paradigm of understanding the climate and the planet may be limited or flawed.
Why? How is it flawed?
I don't know. There's just so many loaded assumptions. Like, for example, about how the climate, the Earth's surface, the ecosystems within the Earth, how all of these things work. I just don't buy the idea that scientists have mastered this.
But you do agree.
And the reason I don't buy it, here's why I can't buy that scientists have mastered this. Because I'm looking at the explanatory value of the paradigms they're using in being able to explain to us how these things came into being in the first place. Like, how do ecosystems develop in the first place? What's their origin? How does the climate and ecosystems and the lower layers of the earth, how do all of these things interact? Scientists are nowhere near a position of being able to really understand that. There's a lot of hypotheses, there's a lot of conflicting hypotheses, but ultimately, I think when you make these like big claims like, oh, the science has shown where it's the end of the world, I don't buy it. I don't think you know enough to be able to come to those conclusions.
I certainly personally don't. I do know some scientists in climate change, in geology, in nuclear physics, and I'd be happy to tell you more about these people.
I'm talking to you right now.
Right, okay. Well, I know that I'm not an authority on these subjects either, but I speak to these people. And so I guess you're just gonna have to trust me, bro. Like that's all.
No, I'm not gonna trust you. You already proved that you say things just to get clout, so you're not a trustworthy or credible person.
But I admitted it, didn't I? I told the truth, and that's truth telling. And there's no value in your moral system for truth telling. Is that you?
Wait, how do I know you're telling the truth?
You do not, because I told you.
Well, you told me that because I got you in a corner that you couldn't get out of.
No, you just had to ask me. You didn't have to put me in a corner. You just had to ask me.
But I got you in a corner you couldn't even escape, so you just submitted.
I didn't have to show up here. I actually rearranged my schedule.
That's like saying when when Khabib has McGregor in a fucking headlock or something and he taps out, that McGregor was being honest. McGregor was being honest about tapping. Yeah, like he didn't have a choice, dude.
You have nothing on me in a headlock. You barely have like 3 times the followers that I do on Twitter. I don't really stream on Twitch. I mean, you've got a Twitch following, but I roll with some of the streamers just like you. I'm happy with my position. I didn't need to be here. I'm happy to be.
But you said the only reason you're here. You said the entire reason for your actions was to be here.
Right. And you put me on, and I thank you for your platform. And hey, if you unban me, I'll give you a 3-month sub.
I don't want a 3-month sub from you.
How about a 6-month sub?
No, I don't want anything from you.
Okay. Yep. That's fine. That's it.
That's really pathetic that you're offering me money too.
Yeah. It's your choice. We could have made great content together, man.
No, we're not going to make any content. We're not making any content together.
I'll be on Tiberius D's channel later tonight.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
That's all right. He was here before you.
Okay. So you're still coping about the fact that you know oil's not going anywhere, right?
I know that definitely we will pretty much burn the environment out before oil is gone.
When do you think that's going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen because I think we're building enough clean energy to sort of escape the heat death of the planet.
No, we're not. We're not. So when is the world going to end?
Whoa! You said before that you weren't sure about this, and now you're sure?
No, I'm operating under your assumption, right? Just for you.
No, you don't even know what my assumptions are. You haven't.
Your assumption is that the world is going to end unless we move to cleaner energy. We're not moving. We're not moving to cleaner energy nearly as fast enough, according to your own models.
Okay.
So when is the world going to end?
You're not moving fast enough to preserve the coral reefs. That's one thing. We need to move faster. China based building 160 nuclear reactors. That's the right speed.
China probably, to be honest with you, it's more likely that China's pursuing alternative energy to fuck the petrodollar, not because they believe in doomsday myths.
I have no tears for the petrodollar. We can end capitalism.
Yeah, but it's geopolitics. It's geopolitics.
I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine by that.
But yeah, anyway, what I was trying to say to you is, assuming that you're wrong in your optimism, when is the world going to end?
Oh, probably about 4 billion years from now, when the sun engulfs the.
When is the planet going to be uninhabitable for human beings?
In about 4 billion years. That's when.
That's not even true. Scientifically speaking, that's not true.
When do you think the sun is going to envelop the orbit of
the Earth is projected to be uninhabitable for human beings much before it becomes enveloped by the sun. So I don't know where you got the idea that it's going to be 4 billion years.
What report did you read that in? What report did you read that in?
Look it up.
No, I did. I've read all the IPCC reports in the last 5 years, and none of that shit's in there.
When will the planet be uninhabitable for humans? Oh,
is it going to be like some freaking leftoid conspiracy website?
So the planet could be as little as 150 million years. Let's see.
Ooh.
Planetary habitability. A high obliquity would probably result in dramatic change of the climate and may destroy the planet's habitability. Yeah, it's not going to be in 4 years, dude. I mean, 4 billion years.
Well, you asked me when it was going to be completely uninhabitable, and I think that,
Okay, when is the climate apocalypse going to happen?
Define apocalypse? Come on, man.
It means a complete breakdown in the world's ecosystems and the destruction of most life on Earth and all that.
We could, in the worst case scenario, if we eliminated nuclear energy and gave up on renewable energy and started quadrupling the amount of fossil fuels produced, we might have some runaway situation. And this is in WG3AR6. We might see something like that in about 400 years.
Oh, who cares then?
That's a fucking Republican talking point right there.
That's 400 years from now. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, who fuck gives? Like I've reproduced. I certainly care. Have you reproduced?
Why? But why are we all getting worked up about? Why are we all getting worked up about something that's going to happen in 400 years under the conditions that you said were going to be the worst possible scenario? You said that would be the worst. In the worst case, it's in 400 years. Why are we making a? Why is there so much alarmism right now? Then
politics. I'm guessing because that's the big Republican talking point is that it's all fake. We shouldn't be acting so quickly. We don't need to act.
No, I'm listening to you. You said under the worst conditions, it's going to be in 400 years. What about Greta Thunberg and all that shit? She said we're destroying the planet.
Well, we are. And if we destroy the planet less quickly, it'll
so
be
it's. But you said in the worst case scenario, we're going to destroy it in 400 years, right?
But we're slowly destroying the planet. You know? Do you know what a budget is? Do you have to budget your money, or you another?
Yeah,
you know,
I'm saying fuck the planet. I don't give a shit about the planet. But we were all supposed to care because this is going to happen like in 5 years or something, right?
Well, so the 5 years or the 12 years thing, that's 2030. That's not actually the deadline. That's the first benchmark date. And this is what a lot of people...
When's the deadline?
Get wrong. The deadline... Well, okay, so there's kind of a deadline by 2050. Let's say that's the first deadline.
But the deadlines always change, right? But
yeah, they do. There's 2050, there's 2100, and then by 2100, if we haven't figured this shit out, we're probably not going to be able to change our trajectory.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be dead by then, right? And so is everyone here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be dead by 2050.
Okay, I don't care. And so,
Chatter donated $5. Do you know why Russia and China don't care?
Okay, here's a good question. Thank you, Chatter.
They don't have all of their most populated fucking cities on the coastlines. The planet will be fine. The people are fucked.
No, but he's saying it's not true. So when are the oceans gonna rise and swallow those coastal cities?
It depends which coastal city you're talking about.
The most populated ones that matter.
At our current trajectory, we'll see things like around between 2050 and 2100, we will see things like king tides that cover the Miami airport.
King tides?
Yeah, that's the maximum. That's like a really big tide that happens. If you've ever lived on the coast, you know what a king tide is.
So it's so Miami's going to be gone 2050 to between 2050 and 2100. No more Miami.
Well, they might still exist. They just might have to move off of the strip, right?
So it's just the airport is the issue?
Well, the airport's pretty far inland. I mean, like this is like Miami's moving like 3 or 4 miles to the west.
Okay, they can have Miami. I don't care. What about like other cities?
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. Miami is the one I know because it's a really good talking point.
Okay. So all this, so we have to stop eating hamburgers because in 400 years, in the worst case scenario.
If you switch your meat consumption from beef to chicken or pork or synthetic substance, you are massively reducing the CO2 footprint of your consumption.
Who cares about CO2 footprint?
That we're talking about the climate.
Okay, if I dig a hole in the ground and fart in it, is there no CO2 going to be released? And I dig the hole, I fart in the hole and I cover the hole.
Inconsequential. If you eat 4 grams of chicken versus 4 grams of beef, you are saving like 90% of the CO2 if you keep eating chicken instead.
Well, who cares?
Okay.
Who cares?
Yeah, 400 years. Who cares? I'll be dead. Freaking Jim Inhofe would.
No, we'll figure something out by then. 400 years.
Would love this. He'll love this conversation. We're going to end up on the Joe Rogan show. Look, infrared.
It's in 400 years. We'll figure something out before then.
Deal.
400 years. We'll be fucking. We will have revived magic or something. I don't know. 400 years is a long time, dude. I'm not worried about. We'll find a way to survive in 400 years.
I'm not like down with the fairies and dragons. I mean, I'm a nerd, but I don't think it's real, man.
Yeah, but we're probably gonna like rediscover. We're probably gonna like rewrite everything we know about electromagnetism and nuclear science and all this kind of physics.
It'll still be too late. It'll still be
no.
Too late.
Our understanding of physics as we know it will be completely changed by then.
That's a wild thing to hope for.
No, it's not. Oh, dude, we don't even know anything about electromagnetism. We still, the thermodynamics, all the stuff we take for granted, we actually don't, they're not actually consistent. Do you believe in the second law of thermodynamics?
I read your stuff and man, this gets me so heated. I just...
Do you actually believe in the second law of thermodynamics?
It is pretty well established, man.
Then it doesn't line up with the inconsistencies between statistical thermodynamics and practical thermodynamics.
Have you ever been to the LIGO facility?
No. Is there big booty bitches there?
The place. It is not far from where I live. I in fact had a live stream from LIGO a while ago. It is a place where we use the fundamental forces of the universe to detect colliding black holes.
That's I don't care. There's no such thing.
If you think that the second law of thermodynamics
has
been disproven,
bullshit.
You should go talk to those engineers.
It has been disproven.
No, you got to go talk to the people who are actually using it every day to do science. Because
no, you have to explain it to me. Okay, tell them to come on. Tell them to come in VC and explain it to me. I'm not gonna go to them. Who are they?
Too fucking busy.
Who are they? They probably believe in genes. They probably think genes are real.
Yeah, they probably do.
Yeah, fucking dumbasses. What do I care what they think?
Yeah. Cool.
Probably think Mendel is still correct.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Mendeloid.
What?
Yeah, exactly. You really think Mendel was like a real scientist and he was right about it?
I remember Mendocino. I remember California. I don't want to go back there.
You probably think Mendel is correct.
What? You talking about the scientist Mendel?
Yes.
Oh. What?
He was disproven long ago.
This is some weird fucking trash talk, man. Gregor Mendel, what the fuck
was full of shit.
I don't doubt it. What?
Yeah. And you actually believe in science. Like you think these scientists know what they're talking about, don't you?
I don't believe people. I believe evidence. And so
no,
when
you
a
don't.
person shows me evidence, I tend to sympathize with them.
Have you seen the evidence of the inconsistencies of the second law of thermodynamics?
I have not. Have you?
Go look it up.
No, I have you.
Yes, I have.
And who showed it to you? And how did they convince you?
Thank you, JNR. I've seen the evidence myself. I've seen the inconsistencies myself.
Is an experiment that you can repeat?
Yes.
Is it something like from Zerka? Because I brought a repeatable experiment to him, and he fucking wouldn't even hear it.
What experiment?
You launch a drone at sunset, and you can get a double sunset.
So?
And that proves the Earth is round.
Okay. And you think Lysenko was wrong?
I have no idea.
Okay. And you believe in like the Big Bang and stuff, right?
I think that we have some point in the past in history where we cannot observe past because
Yeah, so how can you say that that's the beginning of the universe?
I don't say it's the beginning of the universe. I say it's the beginning of the observable universe.
You probably believe in the multiverse theory.
I don't know. I'm not sure about the different models of quantum mechanics. I watch a little bit of PBS Space Time, and there's like whether or not you can do faster than light data transmission using these, and it seems like multiverse would mean that that's impossible.
Do you even know what the ultraviolet catastrophe is?
The ultraviolet? Are you talking about like the phantom gravity collapse or whatever that is?
The ultraviolet catastrophe. You don't even know what it is.
I mean, have you heard half the shit that I'm talking about? I mean,
yeah.
What are we measuring dicks now?
Yeah, you're just the fake scientist, so you know what they're talking about.
This is a wild one.
Okay, what is the origin of the discovery of the so-called the nuclear orbiting atoms? What's the origin of atoms being conceived as okay, first of all, do you think electrons are real?
Yeah.
Show me an electron. Show me.
I'm not.
Show me.
I saw this stream. I saw this stream. It was boring as fuck. I can talk to you about nuclear. I can talk to you about nuclear fission.
Yeah, we're talking about atoms right now. You think electrons are real?
When nuclear fission was discovered, how it was discovered, all that stuff. That's my specialty.
You know what is an electron? Define it.
An electron is a fundamental particle that's a part of the atom that's a composition of 3 quarks. It has a -1 unit charge relative to the positron's +1 unit charge. It is a really, really small mass. Like basically, it's like fucking pocket change to an atom is how small its mass is.
So what is the electron itself?
It's a composition of...
No, it's not a composition. You can't say when you divide something and manipulate it that it's a composition of the result.
And all atoms are compositions of subatomic particles, and all those subatomic...
Yeah, the particle... You're still have an atomic paradigm of atoms, which proves to me you don't even know what you're talking about.
Those are compositions of quarks. So, I mean, this is...
Quarks are... So, quarks are not imminent existences. They're a result of measurements, just like atoms themselves, as well as all the subatomic particles.
You and me are the result of measurements.
No, we're not the result of measurements, you dumb fuck. That's what you don't... That's what you scientards don't understand. We are not the result of measurements.
By a web camera, and that web camera is presenting...
Yeah, I am not reducible to the fucking camera. Second of all, no, the camera does not constitute a measurement.
The camera does not constitute a measurement.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, fucking
a measurement is an intervention in reality. It's not simply a way of like recording or reflecting as a mirror the true nature of reality. It literally intervenes in reality and changes it.
I'm sorry, I'm writing the marker. A camera is an intervention, not a measurement.
No, so, the opposite. The camera, a measurement is an intervention. A camera is not a measurement until it's placed within the context of an experiment or some kind of measurement of reality by a subjective human being. Imminently speaking, a camera is not a measurement of anything.
The product of that camera is a measurement. And that's what I'm talking about.
No.
Keep up.
No. The product insofar as it serves as a measurement.
The output of the web camera is how I'm seeing you.
That doesn't make it a measurement, you dumb fuck. A measurement begins and ends somewhere. Usually for a reason. For a specific reason.
It begins at your nose, ends at my eyes.
No. That doesn't constitute a fucking measurement. That doesn't constitute a measurement, okay?
When you put your hands over your eyes...
Do you even know what a measurement is?
An observation.
A measurement isn't a fucking perception, you dumbass. Measurements are measured in abstract quantities. That's what a measurement means.
I'm going to quantize you? How do you think that you're...
You're not quantifying me. That's why it's not a fucking measurement. Just because you're perceiving me.
That camera works. The CCD captures photons, quantizes them, encodes them, transmits them over the internet. That's how all of this works.
Yeah, that doesn't imminently make it a measurement.
Oh, you're imminent.
Yeah, it's only measured. Imminent. It's only a measurement when it's being measured by someone.
Is imminent like your safe word for like, I don't know what I'm talking
about? Well, I usually have to use that word for scientards who don't understand that the way they describe reality and reality itself aren't actually the same thing.
I think you're hiding behind that word. Can you get through a stream without using the word imminent?
Can you get through a stream without being a soy little bitch?
I am. That's what I am.
No, you're not. One's in the chat if he's not.
You are the chud. I am the soy.
You are soy.
I have an emote. I was designated soy. I have the domain soyaddle.com. You type in soyaddle.com right now. You will come to me on this stream talking to you right now. I am.
Yeah,
soy.
You don't have to. You don't have to persuade us of that. Don't worry. You don't have to persuade us of that. So, is science a cope for all of like the things in life that lets you? So, we're an atheist, right?
Yeah.
And science is basically how you find meaning in the world after you lost it all.
No, I think I have fun. I think there's a lot.
Do you think reality is meaningless?
No, I think it has a great deal of meaning. I think
like no.
Interactions have great meaning.
How does it have meaning?
Well, we're talking to one another.
What's the meaning of being here in reality?
In reality.
What's the meaning of reality? What's the meaning of all creation and all being?
Meaning of reality? Reality is. It is what I perceive, and it is what I get out of the world. It is that I exist and I think and I am, and here I am. It is.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What I observe. It is the now. It is the what's his face? I forget that writer that talked about the basically memes. Basically, the origin of memes is what is now. It's what's happening. We're interacting. We're producing something. We are. That is reality.
What does that mean?
I just explained it to you.
So this is your metaphysical absolute, a bunch of word salad nonsense. This is your God.
I'm not an expert in metaphysics like you clearly are.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what you are. Is you're basically like a guy who takes for granted everyone else's metaphysical assumptions, and you just take that to be like a holy religious truth.
I don't think that metaphysical assumptions are genuinely.
So does science make you feel comfy and secure that like you know the world and you're safe from it because you know it?
I think that science lets me know that if I don't slow down before I get to the bottom of the hill, I'm gonna fucking die. That's what.
So who cares? What's the meaning of life? Why does life matter? Why is life worth living? Why should we fear death?
Life matters because I know that I will not exist beyond death. I will not have a memory or
who cares?
A note of understanding.
Hold on, who cares?
I care.
Why?
Because I exist.
So what?
I have survival, because I have this, not just instinctive, but intellectual interest in surviving.
Why?
Because I want to.
Why?
I'm telling you, I want to survive.
Why?
This is my... Why? Because otherwise there is nothing. And
there's nothing anyway. You're just admitting there's nothing anyway.
No, something fucking exists right now.
What exists?
The microphone in front of me, the mouse on.
So your whole life is for the microphone?
No, I mean it is becoming a lot of fun. It's definitely enjoyable, and I thank you for this time. This has been.
So let me tell you what. You don't live because of a survival instinct or because you just want to or for an intellectual reason. You live because you serve a cause unconsciously that you are blindly devoted to and are unable to even articulate on explicit terms. Because you're basically like a soy cuck. Like, you believe in the mainstream ideology of our ruling society, but you lack the necessary capacity of criticism to even know what it is you're living for.
And I have been, just brainwashed by the mainstream society, and I need to, rise up and follow the infrared. Infrared is rising, all that stuff, in order to cure myself of this brainwashing.
No, I just think you should be honest about what it is you really do believe in.
What do you suppose that is?
What do you believe in?
Yeah. What do you think? You think
I think you believe in the. Here's what you believe in. You believe in the authority of the institutions that rule our society.
I kind of don't like the authority of the institutions. Like I live less than a quarter mile from the Chaz, from the Capitol Hill protest here in Seattle.
Yeah. I see. So wait, what do you think about? Let's talk about that. What do you think of Chaz?
Well, first you have to understand the origins of Chaz. It was a police walkout, and we found the evidence. There was an evidence that the Chief Best basically walked out, delegated to a lieutenant, and the lieutenant basically said, "Okay, we're going to move all the evidence out of the East Precinct." And then at some point, the command came down because he didn't want to fucking allow protesters in front of the East Precinct. And he threw a MAGA fit and said that it was unacceptable. And then they decided, as a unit, as a force unit, to evacuate the East Precinct. And the lieutenant on staff, I forget his dumb name, he used the justification of the arson threat. And later on, there actually was an arson attempt. And my community prevented that arson from taking that building, because that's our building. Because our taxes paid for it. It is a community asset.
Okay, the cops left. So what do you think about Chaz, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone?
I think it was a little memey. Like, the name Autonomous Zone was literally a meme and was meaningless.
But what do you think about the garden they made?
Oh, I met Farmer. He's a decent dude.
They said this garden is for Black and Indigenous people only, and their plant allies.
I didn't hear. Well, okay, allies.
That was the sign they had.
I didn't see that sign, and I met Farmer, and so I'm sure that, like.
Do you think it was a good farm?
No, I just knew him by the nickname Farmer.
So what about the lynching of 2 Black teenagers?
There was no lynching. There was gunfire. There was
were they not shot and killed?
There was one execution by an unknown individual, and there was one personal conflict outside of the ball field. Actually, just outside
the 2 Black teenagers who were in the car and were killed by the Chaz.
That was the well, we don't know who it was.
There was 2 executions.
Yeah. No, in the car, the second person survived. And I think that we found the person. They were from south of Seattle. They weren't even a Seattle resident. The person who did the Merck killing of those kids who drove through the ball field.
I actually saw the footage, and it was literally the Chaz.
I would love a link to that. I would love.
They had guns. They were walking around with rifles, and they covered for each other after it happened.
Sounds like different, unrelated footage.
I saw the footage of the car after he died, and they were all huddled around him, and they had guns on them.
Love to see it. You could.
I can't show it on stream because it's TOS.
No, you can't.
So you're denying the lynchings. Are you? So you deny lynchings now?
I don't think it was. Can you call it a lynching?
Yes.
Can you actually call it a lynching?
Yes, because it was a bunch of white people in Chaz who literally executed Black teenagers from outside the community.
Lynching. Define lynching.
A racially motivated execution of 2 Black individuals.
Of a Black person is a lynching. Any execution, any racially motivated.
Yes.
I don't know if it was racially motivated.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
You want to know how I can prove it?
Go ahead.
because the culture of leftists, Antifa, is from white people. And when outsiders who are black came, because they came from a different culture and didn't care about their dumb, bullshit, they executed him as an outsider, just like in the old times.
You're telling me that they didn't kill Farmer, they killed someone else.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is wild. This is like I'm talking to Lauren Southern again.
Well, she would be more honest than you are then. That much is very clear.
If you say so. This is wild stuff, man.
Yeah.
As we can see, you are very willing to tear down other leftists, and that's why we started this conversation. And I'm glad that.
Why do I owe anything to other leftists? That's what I want to know. Why do I owe anything to them?
Well, if you are here for the revolution, you will.
What? Hold on. Wait.
In that revolution.
What revolution are you talking about? Which one?
The defeat.
The Chaz one.
The defeat of capitalism. You're either here for the defeat of capitalism.
Okay, what does the defeat of capitalism mean? What does it entail in real life? You are
controlled opposition. We're going to.
What does the defeat of capitalism look like in real life? What does that look like?
Oh, in real life. Well,
yeah,
that's a great question. I think that we would have very little political influence from people who hold capital.
Karl, from A to B. From A to B. You said these people I'm attacking are the decisive elements who are going to lead to the defeat of capitalism.
You're trying to fucking ninja in an adjective that I didn't use.
Okay, you said that if I'm for the revolution,
yes,
that I would not be attacking other leftists.
I think that you would support them in some limited means.
And you define which implies that these other people are necessary for said revolution. And said revolution,
I think that they are contributing to the.
They're contributing to the revolution, sure. And said revolution means the defeat of capitalism. So I want to know how are you getting from A to B? In what way are they contributing to the defeat of capitalism?
That's a different question. How are we going to get to the revolution? And hold
on. No, Karl, you said I was for the so-called revolution, which we're implying is a real thing, not something that exists in thin air, that I would not be attacking other leftists, right? How?
You ought not to.
My question is how? That's it. How can that be true?
Because if you are dismantling the seeds of the revolution, you are controlled opposition.
What? Can you prove to me that these are seeds of the revolution in the first place?
Is not every revolutionary act a seed of the revolution?
What would you define as a revolutionary act?
Holding a space and ejecting imperialist.
Okay. Holding a space. That's a good example, like Chaz, right? So, holding a space in no way constitutes, as far as I can see, a revolutionary act. It does not contribute to the defeat of capitalism in any meaningful sense.
People told me you were a class reductionist. I told them they were liars, and now I feel like a fool. I feel like, holding all praxis hostage for a violent revolution is just disgusting. It is actually controlled opposition. It is going to defeat.
Listen, you're the one who introduced the phrase revolution into this conversation. So I'm just trying to understand what the fuck we're talking about here.
I know that you pretend you're a revolutionary, but I think you're controlled opposition. I think you're an
I'm a conservative revolutionary.
Oh, Is that different from a color revolution?
No, it just basically means that I don't see revolution as a voluntary act. I see it as an imminent fact of reality itself, that there are revolutions in the forces of production, and that political revolutions are the way in which that social revolution in the forces of production find expression so far as the state is concerned. And taken in that sense, a so-called revolution is a very conservative affair. It doesn't involve some kind of like voluntary, or occupying a space or doing some melodrama. It involves having a correct insight into the reality that actually already exists.
But what do you do in your revolution? You're saying words and you're not saying what you do.
Well, the idea that you want to continue interrupting me?
Go ahead.
The idea that you do, the idea that I didn't hear anything you said. The idea that you do something for the revolution implies that you're not already doing stuff, right? So it's a matter of you're already doing things. So what things are you going to do and what things are you not going to do? And actually, not doing the things that you're already doing are just as meaningful as doing something from scratch.
So
in other words,
sit in my gaming chair, I'm a revolutionary.
Well, would you prefer if I move the gaming chair to Chaz and sit in Chaz instead?
Sounds
and hold
great.
a rifle?
If I don't move, if I don't go to work, I'm a revolutionary.
To be honest, if Americans didn't go to work, that would be a political revolution. 100%.
Rise up. Gamers,
I mean, literally, it's literally true. If Americans just stopped going to work, that would lead to a revolutionary situation. 100%.
You're saying that all gamers are alt-right. So basically, you're bad jacketing all of your potential revolutionaries.
Why?
You know what bad jacketing is?
I didn't say gamers. I said white male devs and coders in general are the demographic of the alt-right, so that one of you come and accuse me of being alt-right, who's an Arab from Metro Detroit, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I didn't begin this by accusing you of being alt-right. We begun this by you accusing me of that.
No, incorrect. I accuse you of using an alt-right meme.
Yeah, when you conceded and said that you only did it for clout.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, so you talk about words like revolution, but they don't actually mean anything in real life.
It means the defeat of capitalism, which we didn't really get to. You wanted to talk
about how even then, even when you're pressed to even define what that means, you can only define it negatively. It means the defeat of the thing I've convinced myself I don't like. Okay, what is capitalism? Hon, what is capitalism?
Capitalism is the, using monetary value or some other thing in order to acquire a means of production which you lease to a worker, and then you require that worker to give you a product of their labor in order to continue accessing the means of production. That's capitalism. I just talked about the means of production.
I heard that, but I don't see how that's capitalism specifically.
I used money to buy a thing and said, hey, if you work on this thing, you give me most of the value that you make.
That's not true.
You can continue to have a job.
But that's actually not what capitalism is.
Oh, tell me what capitalism is.
So first, capital just means money. You use money to make more money through commodities. It's very simple, right? That's what capital is. The generation of more money than you started out with through the use of commodities. That's what capitalism
means. Capitalism is one stock market.
That's what do you know? So you know that capital.
Capitalism is when stock market. Nah.
That's capital means something that generates more money than that was inputted inside of it. Yes.
I think we arrived at the same definition, but I was trying to use really simple words.
No, you didn't, because you implied that in order for you implied that in order for there to be capital, like there always has to be the hiring of workers or whatever. That's not true. There's forms of capital that exist.
Capitalism.
What?
No, show me how capitalism survives without workers.
Obviously, you need workers in the aggregate sense of the word capitalism, but That's just not
yeah.
specific enough or simple enough to describe what capitalism is.
I think that's the fundamental basis for describing capitalism, because
No, it's
without
not.
workers, capitalism would
And
fail.
it's not, and
That's
here's
the
why.
thesis of the
And here's why.
revolution.
Because labor is something that's always existed. And all you need to do to understand the place of labor within capitalism is apply the same simple concept. So if a capitalist society is one in which production occurs or economic activity occurs primarily for the purpose of producing money for the sake of money, then in this case, you could just say labor serves as a commodity through which the laborer is going to earn money, or the capitalist through the laborer is going to earn money. It's one in which the labor becomes a commodity. Labor itself becomes a commodity. And it becomes a commodity because the prime want of life, so to speak, is not labor, it's money, right? So you don't need to have it be as complex as you said. All you have to say is capitalism is one in which capital, or the pursuit of profit and the pursuit of money, is the primary want of life and the economic life in general. That's capitalism.
Capitalism is when money.
Yeah, it sounds like you didn't listen to what I said. So
Because you said a lot.
You're
of
just a bad student.
Disjointed things. You had a lot of disjointed words.
What exactly was disjointed about? Okay, wait. Have you read Marx's Capital?
Money is the thing of life.
Do you know what MCM is?
I got no idea about MCM.
Does this sound like meaningless and disjointed to you?
Right now, yes.
Okay, good, because it's actually it's actually a formula. It's actually a formula invented by Marx. Karl Marx. I don't know if you know the guy. He invented the formula MCM to describe what capital is. And it means money, commodity, and more money. Money with a little thing on the end of it. So that's like a very basic thing in Marxism, right?
Okay.
So it's not just money, as you're implying, I said. It's economic activity for the purpose set in motion to produce more money.
Right, and how is that different from using the product of someone's labor? I mean, I just define the same
because
thing
it's inessential. Because it's inessential. Everything is put into use.
Why is money essential to capitalism? Why?
Because money is the actual ends of capitalism, not the hiring of labor.
Explain to me a company town then.
Everything is for profit in a company town. The whole reason there's a company town is because it secures better profits. It's all for money and profit.
But you don't actually get legal tender. You don't give legal tender to the worker. You get the product of their labor.
I understand, but it's the reason for that is because it saves costs for the company to ultimately produce more profit for itself.
Why is it? But what if the company is just digging a hole? Why does it need to involve money?
What are you talking? Then it wouldn't be a company. It would just be an association of hole diggers who are doing it for unknown reasons. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. Economic theory.
Are you stupid or something? Like, what are you...
Clearly.
What do you mean, why don't they just dig a hole? Do you even know what a company is, dude?
Why is a company, the definition of a company, and therefore the definition of capitalism, by you, dependent on the existence of money?
Of course, money is essential to capitalism. I do not see that or understand why. It's because capital itself can be defined by the formula MCM, which is money, commodity, using that money to invest in a commodity, the selling of that commodity to produce more money than you started out with.
And how is what I said not redefining money?
How have you redefined money?
I said it was a thing. I just left it at that. I said a thing to get a means of production to give to the worker, and then you take the workers, the value that they produce, and you keep most.
Why does that happen? If we accept your botched and wrong description of how it happens, why does it happen?
You can't understand words. It clearly is botched.
So you're saying capitalists just want the value for, like, explicitly or consciously? What do capitalists want? What does a capitalist want?
Capitalist wants to increase their value without expending personal labor.
That's not true at all.
Oh, is it?
That's a small capitalist can just be someone who doesn't hire any labor and is still a capitalist. You know that, right?
And they're not exploiting anyone. How are you?
The exploitation is you're using it in a morally charged way.
How are you a capitalist without labor?
Because you are a small capitalist, so you're producing things and you're selling them.
You're trading stocks and you're a capitalist. And downstream of those stocks, you're telling me there's no labor.
If you're making a business where you're not hiring anyone, it's still a business, you're a small capitalist.
There's still downstream labor involved.
Is Warren Buffett not a capitalist according to you?
Absolutely is. And there's still labor involved in his holdings.
What labor?
Warren Buffett, you're seriously. Like the Pacific Energy Corporation, there's labor involved there.
Okay, and the company's involved on the stock. But in that, okay, then by that logic, everyone's a capitalist because there's labor involved, and even when you buy a pack of toothpaste, labor's involved.
You're a capitalist. I'm a capitalist. I've got a 401k.
Okay. You still haven't actually demonstrated why your argument and why your definition is better than mine.
It's pedantic, really, and I'd be very happy if
you're saying capitalism is when you take the means of production from a worker and use it to what? Take their value.
When you, owning the means of production, take the value from the workers.
For what reason does a capitalist supposedly own the means of production?
In order... Oh, thanks for the follow. Okay. The capitalist owns the means of production.
For what purpose?
In order to create a monopoly over it, I suppose.
For what purpose?
To entice a worker to ask that worker.
I think you don't understand that capitalists don't care that much about workers. They're just using them for a reason.
Right.
Why are they using them?
Well, you wanted me to avoid inflammatory statements, and so that's why I'm trying to dance through your hoops. And if you want me to not avoid that, I can just say capitalists want to exploit workers, and just say, don't you understand?
Oh, okay. So the ultimate ends. So wait. The ultimate ends for capitalists is just to exploit the workers. That's the ends of their activity.
It is to get value out of them, to use a non-inflammatory statement.
So you're saying, let's do a hypothetical. Let's say there's a factory called Big Al's Plunger Factory, right? And this is a factory with 300 workers in it, okay? And Big Al owns that factory, okay? He owns that factory. Big Al's 500 pounds, and he's a big fat capitalist and whatever. So Big Al's Plunger Factory, he's employing 300 workers, right? So Big Al is now faced with a choice, right? His factory is, not profitable. I know that doesn't matter, but it's not profitable, right?
What's profit?
It's not.
Profit here? Is it money?
I don't know what's profit. I guess we have to debate about that too now. What is profit?
I mean, if you want to hedge your definition on the existence of money, that's fine.
I just said it's not profitable.
Okay.
So it's not profitable. But he's not losing money. He's just, he's not gaining any new money, right?
Not gaining as much as he should.
He's not gaining any. He's just getting enough to stay afloat, basically.
Stagnating.
Yeah. So Big Al is now faced with a choice. Big Al has got some extra money, right? One lucky day. And Big Al has the choice to hire 15 new workers, right? Now, Big Al's 15 new workers are not going to add anything, right? There's just going to be 15 workers, and it's going to be the same result, right? More or less. Or let's say it will add something, but it's going to be like a negligible addition, right? He's going to get like 0.1% more profit than he otherwise would, right? Or he can use the money to get a machine in which he's going to lay off 50 workers. Now, if Big Al is a... What does it mean for Big Al to be a good capitalist in this scenario?
It depends if he can afford to piss off his workers or not. Because if they are in a negotiation between labor and the capitalist, then those...
Let's just assume there's no union, there's no negotiations, the workers are not organized. What does it mean for Big Al to be a good capitalist in this scenario? Which choice would he choose?
He would choose to lay off workers and give
exactly
the same value.
But we have an issue here because you just defined being a capitalist. You just said the ultimate ends and goal of capitalists is to exploit workers. But in this situation, Big Al has the option to exploit 12 more workers. And instead of that, he's choosing to lay off 50 workers who he's no longer going to be exploiting, right? But you agreed that Big Al would be a better capitalist if he laid off the 50 workers and got the machine. So how is it the ends?
He's getting more value. He's getting more value this way. And let's be clear.
Okay, how is he getting more value? That's it. Wait, that's interesting. How is he getting more value?
More exploitation. Yeah, getting more value is more exploitation.
Wait, hold on. How is he getting more value?
He's getting the same productivity out of 250 workers. He's getting more value from those 250 workers than he got from 300, right?
Do you know what value is? Because he's actually not. That's why there's a crisis in capitalism, according to Marx.
You said he had a choice. You said he had a choice to either maintain his current productivity.
But the workers are not going to be... Hold on, no, wait. The workers will not be... Those 250 workers... Hold on, to be clear, the 250 workers will not be doing anything new. Okay? They're not going to be, like, working harder, and they're not going to be expending more energy. They're going to be working the same way in which they did before. The only difference now is there's a new machine that produces more than the 50 workers before were able to produce, and for less money too.
Yep.
So he's cutting costs and he's producing more.
And that value ought to go to the workers, right?
Okay, whether it ought to do this or that, let's leave that on the back burner for now. Let's ask the question: Is Big Al? Yeah, I'm totally afraid of that. Is Big Al exploiting more or less workers after he made that decision as a good capitalist?
You're quantifying. You're moving goalposts again. You're quantifying the number of exploited workers versus how much exploitation is occurring, and the value lost by those workers is the quantum of exploitation.
What?
You're running away again.
So he was...
Nice
Wait, okay, hold on. So Big Al is exploiting these workers because he fired them.
No, not those. Those workers, let's hope they get a better job.
Yeah, they're gone. They're out of the picture. So he's no longer exploiting them anymore.
They are free of his exploitation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is he exploiting more people or less people?
Goalpost move, man. He has increased his exploitation of the workers.
How?
Under him.
But they're doing the same thing that they did before. They're not working harder.
Value. Each person is producing more value than they did previously.
But they're not.
He is getting more. No,
they're actually not.
No, you're confused about the value of the hand motion versus the value of the output. You're confused.
Explain how I'm confused.
You're confused about the motions of the hand on the machine versus the value that machine produces.
The workers are not going to be, let's say the workers aren't even going to be using that machine that he bought.
Goalpost moved. You've moved the goalposts.
Well, it doesn't even make a difference, though, anyway. It's like, how is it that...
Clearly does, because you're dodging.
So he's just exploiting them more.
Yeah, because they're losing more value now.
How?
They could be producing... They could
How?
be keeping that value.
They're not doing... I already said they're not doing anything differently.
They could be keeping that value for themselves. They could be keeping that value for themselves.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me get this straight. So he's exploiting them more than he was before because they're entitled, because you're beginning with the baseline assumption that whatever profits this company makes, regardless of the workers' performance or anything like that, the workers are entitled to. And
that is called a socialized workplace. Congratulations. That's basic.
Hold on. Karl. It's not. That's not what socialism means at all. But,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Socialism is when potato sack. Got it.
So, Karl, what does exploitation mean to you?
Something that ought to belong to me, or something that does belong to me, is either stolen or converted or obstructed.
Okay. So, okay. What if I said, hypothetically, like, your balls belong to me, and you have to go to the doctor, get them removed, and send them to me? You're exploiting me by withdrawing them.
But they don't actually belong to you.
Why not?
Because they don't.
I'm saying they do. They ought to. Well, they don't, because we live in Karl Ballsism. They don't belong into me because we live in a system called Karl Ballsism instead of Haas Ballsism. And and I want it ought to be that they belong to me. So you're exploiting me by not giving me them.
Because I'm resisting your frame, I'm exploiting you. This is some high quality.
You're exploiting me.
I sure am. I'm exploiting you for your content right now.
If a capitalist invests in a machine and with the profits that he's getting from that machine, laying off the 50 workers, if he doesn't give the money to the workers,
I'll go sign the affiliate agreement, and then I can actually exploit you right now.
You're exploiting me. I'm entitled to something that you think you own, and it's actually, I'm going to say it ought to belong to me, so that means there's actually exploitation going on.
I've already given more than my initial demand.
Okay, so let me look up the let's look up the definition of exploitation. Hold on, let's look up the definition of exploitation. Exploitation definition.
So thank you for that.
Okay.
And this
the action, there's two actions. The act or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work, or the action of making use of and benefiting from resources. So both of those definitions imply that exploitation is when something isn't when something should belong to the worker, but that something that is actually a feature of the worker's work is being taken from them by the capitalist, in this case, right?
You just undefined capitalism. Is that what you wanted to do? Did you want to concede the victory to the capitalists, Haas? Is that what your goal?
Hold on, but you can't just say there's exploitation. Hold on, you can't just say that there's exploitation because you're entitled to something you're not getting that you feel you should get. Exploitation would be when something is actually being taken from you. You don't have to say it should belong to me. It does belong to you. Except the capitalist is taking it. Right? That's exploitation. Exploitation isn't when you say, oh, this should belong to me.
If I have no choice but to work for a capitalist or I die, that is exploitation.
What?
I think that it's monumentally unfair, as your Googled definition shows. It is
right, but it's unfair because it's someone else's work.
It is. It would be my labor producing a thing out of that machine.
No, it
And the
wouldn't be.
product of
No,
my
it wouldn't
labor
be.
is not the product of my labor mine?
Even no, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be yours.
And it would be unfair in that case, right? It should
No,
be.
because you're not doing anything different than you were doing before.
Are you turning into an ANCAP? Really?
Who cares? Let's say I'm an ANCAP or I'm a capitalist. Can you actually debate this? Doesn't matter who I am, Karl. Your job is to debate this
I
persuasively.
am debating from a very firm position, and I think that the product of my labor ought to be mine, and otherwise, to say otherwise is unfair.
Okay, your balls are the product of my labor. Send them to me.
And that would be unfair because we both worked on this content.
No, but I think it should belong to me, though, is the issue.
Well, but I contributed this content with me not here, and you saw that. You saw that. When I was silent, you were so frustrated. You were so angry.
No, you actually said that you're not going to talk until I unban you, and you talked anyway.
You were so angry at that point.
Okay, Karl. What if I told you that, according to Marx himself, like from his own writings, workers are actually paid the exact price of their labor?
In a market?
No.
In a market where labor has been commodified?
Yes.
It's still exploitation.
Yeah, but why? They're getting paid the exact value of their labor. Insofar as value is expressed in price.
Owning the means of production.
What?
Because if they owned the means of production, they would not work for a capitalist.
Okay, but that's not how you defined exploitation before. You defined exploitation before as undiminished, diminished. You defined exploitation as the diminished
by the worker ought to belong to the worker. I've been very firm on that. I've been very firm.
Okay, how does Marx define exploitation?
I don't know. Fucking know. Don't fucking ask me about Marx.
You defined exploitation.
You established that I don't know a fucking thing about Marx.
You don't.
So why don't we move
You said exploitation. Hold on, Chapo. You said exploitation.
My Chapo.
Yeah. You said hold on. You said
fuck, I need $1.
You said exploitation is when something that belongs to the workers, in this case the value of their labor, is not being given to them.
Right.
But Marx disagrees. Marx says that workers get the exact value of their labor in the form of price. They get the exact exchange value of their labor.
They are paid by the capitalist.
The exact exchange value of their labor.
And chapter and page, let's have it.
Okay, so you're questioning it.
I would love.
Chat, can you get the quote?
Yeah, give me the quote, because it sounds like Marx is pretty not based. Pretty fucking
get the quote. I'm too tired to look it up.
Yeah. It's that hamburger. That hamburger destroyed you, man. Jeez. I only drink beer. That keeps my energy up. And I'm sorry that you chose not to put my camera on stream, because I love your sword, and I got a sword of my own. I actually think I could block both.
Chat, where's the... You have the quote?
Like, just like that. Just like 2 swords.
You sent it to me before.
Right there.
Here we go. This is the quote. Equivalent has been exchanged for equivalent. For the capitalist as buyer, paid for each commodity, for the cotton, for the spindle, and the labor power, its full value. There you go. That's from Marx.
Page number.
Sorry?
Page number. I can't see your fucking chat. I'm banned.
Okay, so we don't have a physical copy of the book right now, so we're not going to actually get the page number, but I can give you like the chapter.
Let me give me the chapter.
So this is the economic manuscripts.
Put the quote in your
this is the economic manuscripts. Sorry, Capital Volume 1, Part 3, Section 1.
And what's the words?
I think it's Section 2, actually. Yeah, Section 2.
I'm not seeing the words in the chat. It's fucking pixelated as fuck.
Okay, the words are the spindle and the labor power out of such. Sorry. Wait, let me find it. Oh, there you go. The word it's in section 2, actually. I think it's every condition of the problem is satisfied while the laws that regulate the exchange of commodities have been in no way violated. Equivalent has been exchanged for equivalent. For the capitalist as buyer paid for each commodity. For the cotton, the spindle, and the labor power, its full value.
I mean, unless I read more context, it sounds like Marx is not very great in this case.
I guess not.
But I'm betting there's some context here. What do you suppose that context is? Because
I think the context is that you leftists have completely perverted Marx and talked out of your fucking ass about what Marx actually said this whole time.
Do I stand Marx? Is that an accusation? Is that an accusation now that I'm standing Marx?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Is that the accusation that I'm standing Marx?
That you're what? I'm reading a DM.
Stan, like the Eminem song. Am I standing Marx?
I think no. Your crowd is claims that on the authority of Marx, you're getting this theory of value from.
Who's my crowd? Name a person in
all
my crowd.
Twitch leftists. Hassan.
False.
Hassan.
Fuck him. He doesn't do enough. Fuck Hassan. I just talked with Tom Foolery about Hassan. He doesn't do enough.
Bosch?
He slips a lot.
What do you like?
He says is okay.
What do you like?
I kind of like the idea that we might be able to get a creative marketplace independent of the existential dread of existence. So it's like we have this existential dread.
What thinker do you like?
I don't like very many thinkers. I like my own brain. It works pretty well.
You like your own brain?
I think I've read a couple chapters of
Where did you get these ideas from? You just read everything yourself?
I read a couple chapters
of what?
The bread book. The bread book is Conquest of Bread. You might look it up someday.
In that book, did Kropotkin teach you about all this stuff you're talking about? How
he taught me that the working people cannot purchase with their wages the wealth they have created.
Oh, okay. That's what it said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can look it up.
Okay, what if I told you that whole book, The Conquest of Bread, I'll take each page, roll it up, I'll wipe my ass, diarrhea, filthy ass with it.
If you're trying to like piss off Kropotkin, I'll laugh at it because I don't.
What if I told you Marx already did that in Capital?
That's amazing. I'll have to read it. It sounds like a great read.
Yeah. And I won't even use a bidet. That's how much I'll be sure that it absorbs my shit.
Fucking destroying the environment.
Good.
You should not use trees.
Good. Do you litter? Do you litter?
You should save the trees. I recycle, though I know recycling is...
I don't recycle. I don't recycle.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Do you care about the turtles?
Wait, what do turtles have to do with recycling?
Plastic.
Microplastics.
Yeah, do you care?
Actually, know a thing or two. I think that we should switch to more compostable things.
I love when the turtles suffer, actually. I sleep soundly at night when they suffer.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
This is some class A trolling. And take it from me, someone who...
Yeah, hold on. So wait, I want to get back to the part where you're saying that according to the theory of value...
I don't cite theory of value. I cite what I think capitalist exploitation is.
So it's capitalist exploitation that workers are not getting 100% of the profit.
Well, that is something we could discuss. I think that it could be a better share than it is today, but I don't know if it needs to be 100%. I'm honestly not sure.
So what's exploitation?
If you are forced to work for a capitalist or suffer death, that's definitely exploitation.
There is no modern economy in a modern society in which you are forced to work for a capitalist or suffer death.
But this is America.
No, not even in America.
Oh, I don't believe that. I see thousands of homeless people on the streets of Seattle, and some of them have died. And I believe,
yeah, because of drug overdoses and diseases.
Because of people freeze to death on the street, and drug overdoses are a salve on the.
First of all, there's such a thing as homeless shelters.
Not really. Not around here. We're fucking full up. Especially if you're a young man, there's no homeless shelter for you. If you are a young man and your mother goes into a homeless shelter, they turn you away because that is a mother's shelter. That's only
okay, but you're not in a modern society. You don't die just because you don't have a job.
I'm a fucking.
You live a really shitty life, but you don't die.
We definitely I'd love to see that happen. I would love to live in America where people
the thing that pisses me off too is that like I know people who don't have jobs who live off the government too. Like I know people who just live that life.
Why does that offend you?
And it doesn't. I don't even know how they do it, but they do it. And they're not dying, dude. Because they don't have a job.
They found a way to survive under capitalism. That's
yeah, but they're not dying because they're not getting a job.
Some of them are, right?
Some people die when they do get a job. What's your point?
Well, maybe they would have a safer job if they could own the means of production.
Why do you think that?
I know that. If I was able to own the means of production and avoided a job that could cause my death,
if workers were able to vote on every decision a company makes?
That would also
that's the only form the ownership could take.
Well, or they could just not work for that employer. Those are two good solutions.
So how can you own the means of production in a company that hires more than 2 people?
No. I wouldn't be a member of a company. I would own the means of production. I would have like a media channel, or I would have a 3D printer.
Okay, but we still have to grow food. We still have to grow food, build houses, make real shit, and there's still physical things that need to be done instead of sitting on your ass on the computer. So can you snap out of it and get into reality and explain to me how we're going to own the means of production?
Not quite. I think the socialized workplace is the solution for the big tasks. Definitely for things like a nuclear reactor. We have a pretty based as fuck public power corporation here.
So you're saying, so do you think workers know what's best for them?
So we have 27 PUDs that all contribute to this public power corporation. And no, there are bosses in that corporation. There is a boss. There are managers and directors, and there's safety inspectors. All of these people are workers. Not all of them put their hands...
so it's the same thing, but we're just going to change the name.
No. But here's the thing you missed, and you just fucking got blown the fuck out because you missed this. I said it was 27 PUDs own this public power corporation. None of them are owners.
You realize most companies of scale are publicly owned and don't have like one owner.
I don't mean they're traded on the stock market. I mean literally owned by public utility.
That's just a different form of an already socialized. That's just a different form of the same socialization. Most companies don't have 1 or 2 private owners. Most companies, even when people say privately owned, they're just contrasting that to the government. Most big companies are socialized in their ownership, you fucking idiot.
No, that's a lie.
Yeah, they are. They're just
a lie. You're going to fucking tell me that REI and IBM have the same ownership structure. That's bullshit.
No, they have a different management and administration structure.
No, they have the same management and administration structure, IBM and REI. They have different ownership.
What does ownership mean?
It means there's a money share in a company, and that money share in the company is held by an individual or corporation or utility or government entity.
So how do the workers own the money?
I said they didn't.
So how do the workers own the company?
I said they did not own the company.
In the other one you mentioned, the PP5 company, whatever the fuck, the other one, not the IBM, the other one.
Yeah, the public, or REI, or the Public Power Corporation.
Yeah.
Those are different co-ops. They're not quite, they're better socialized. They're not perfectly socialized. I think these are models for a better workplace. I think that the Public Power Corporation is a really good one because it's the citizens.
Okay,
of
how do workers own it?
I fucking not listening to me. It's a Public Power Corporation. It's owned by the constituencies.
How?
Are served
in what form? In what form?
And they have government entities that are PUDs. PUDs have bonds that are collected from property taxes in those constituencies.
How do the workers own it?
I didn't fucking say the workers owned it. You're going to repeat this 5 times? Is this a fucking police interrogation? Are you a cop?
So what would it mean for the workers to own the means of production?
I said these were transition. So these are more transitional than final state. These are good examples of better socialized workplaces that exist in the real world.
What does that have to do with owning the means of production?
It's better than a capitalist owning the means of production. That's what it is.
Why?
Am I going to get to finish the description of why? Can I actually go into it?
Go into it.
Okay. So, 27 PUDs all contribute to this Public Power Corporation. We can all vote on how that Public Power Corporation works, and we get to set the salaries of those employees. All those salaries have to be competitive, but they don't get to issue stock as part of compensation. They don't get to say, oh, the CEO gets millions and millions of dollars from this nuclear plant. No, that goes back to the utilities. That goes back to all of the constituencies get the benefits.
Hey, dumbass. You know that can only work for a
nice dodge.
You know that can only work for you know that can only work.
Nice dodge.
You know that can only work for an enterprise.
Nice dodge.
You know that can only work for an enterprise that's already a natural monopoly, meaning it doesn't have to worry about like keeping a competitive edge on the market and expanding and shrinking and growing and innovating. It's a natural monopoly whose purpose is really just. Well, it's what they call a natural monopoly. It's a utilities company. Utilities companies, in contrast to
since the 1950s, we've not decommodified, destructured, fuck. What's the Texas grid called? It is a deregulated. A deregulated.
That's not the point. That can't apply universally.
That's why I deal in examples, and this is my favorite fucking example. So, we've got about, I think, 900 people working for this Public Power Corporation. And it's pretty fucking base. They've got a nuclear reactor. They're producing energy for the Pacific Northwest. Low carbon energy. Really good. So I see you're walking away. I don't see it on here, but I'm watching the stream. So, what's up, chat? Do I have you? Yeah, I do. Oh, fuck.
Years later, we're no closer to you explaining what it means for workers to own the means of production.
Well, the workers, so if we transition from the public owning this to the workers owning this, then the workers would get to decide a little more directly how everything works.
Okay.
I think that'd be pretty.
Except Workers, so do workers know what's in their best interests?
I think the CEO of Energy Northwest.
Can you answer my question directly, you dodging fucking fuck?
He is a worker. He's still a worker. He works for the public.
You dodging fuck. Does a worker know what's in their own best interests?
The line worker or the CEO? They're both workers.
All workers.
Not all of them.
So if workers owning the means of production just means workers get to directly decide on how their fucking company is operated.
They get to decide.
That's just a stupid way of administrating a company, you dumb fuck.
Why don't they get to elect a CEO? Why the fuck wouldn't they get to elect their CEO?
I'll tell you why they shouldn't elect their own fucking CEO. Because very rarely is a company reducible to one shop or one floor. It's not just a team of workers who have a boss bossing them around. It's a fucking company of scale. And knowing what an effective business leader is going to be and negotiate with other businesses, that's what business is about. Politics and negotiation and all that shit. Workers don't know a goddamn fucking thing about what that takes. Okay?
I believe in workers. I know that you hate the working person, but I love the working person. I think that the people who work at Energy Northwest have a really good relationship with their leadership. I think that, you know, they have regulators and they have unions. They're fucking smart people. They know what they're doing.
Workers can't elect a fucking leader, a CEO of a company, because the CEO of a company has to rise on the merit of their skills and on the merit of their abilities and what they've proven in the past and their precedent and their things like that. It's not based on fucking how popular they are.
Have you never worked
among employees?
Have you never had a good manager?
A CEO is not a manager, you fucking idiot.
Why isn't he a manager?
Most workers will never interact with the CEO in their life.
I've interacted with two of my CEOs. Three of my CEOs.
Well, most workers won't.
I wish they would. It's great to be able to give feedback like that.
Why? It's just a waste of their time.
I don't think so. I think
that's like saying workers should have to decide the fucking safety inspections. What the fuck do they know about all that shit? Workers aren't scientists. They're not engineers. They're not fucking experts. They don't know. They're not the people who should be responsible for all that shit.
900 people at Energy Northwest are engineers and scientists. They actually go to school for this shit.
Well, I'm actually talking about real working class Americans and not professional managerials.
These are working class Americans. They live in a place called
no, by definition, they're professionals.
They're professionals? Is that it? Is it because
yes, they're professionals. They are engineers or scientists.
Get enough grease in their hands. They're not working class people.
No, they're not working class. They're not working class.
Knowledge workers are not workers. Is that you want to?
Fuck no, they're not. Fuck no, they're not.
Communication workers of America to fuck off that you're not workers.
Yes, I tell each and every one of them to fuck off, actually.
Awesome.
Every single Silicon Valley... Look, this is what I'm going to tell you. Every single... No, I'm going to explain it to you. Every single Silicon Valley employee who works at Google, whatever, I wish there's more union busting, more long hours of work, more less pay, and I want more discipline for them.
They're kulaks just like you and me, is that it?
Yes.
Based. We're two kulaks in a voice chat talking about working people.
Yeah, except I don't represent the class of streamers. That's why I go against every fucking streamer there is.
Based. So we are past my window, and so true to my promise, I lasted the whole however fucking many hours I had to offer. This is it because I got my talk with Tiberius D in an hour. I'm gonna go eat and chill out. This has been thoroughly entertaining. Thank you, everyone. Please support nuclear.
I accept your surrender. Goodbye.